showtime. This is gonna suck! Especially since we covered a lot in the last episode, which, by the way, hey everybody, it's a Dear Rock 100, and welcome back to my Phoenix, right? Ace Attorney Blind. Last time, this investigation went almost 2 hours to do. I knew I should have split into a two-parter, but, whatever. Bygonzo will be bygonzo, I guess. This time, court time. So what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all, the victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time. And the different suspect was arrested at the other crime scene. Lana! Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. So, how'd it go? It's as Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. A plea bargain? What do you mean by that? We agreed that if I told them the truth behind the simultaneous murder, they wouldn't see capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma. But Lana, don't tell me you... Much to my regret, I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. This guy. We discovered traces left by a certain person in the police department evidence room. They belong to Officer Jake Marshall. You found Officer Marshall's traces? Bloodstained fingerprints, to be exact. That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, we're going to accuse Mr. Marshall. We have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, this guy? Do what you have to do, Mr. Wright. Alright. Here we go. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is... I'm afraid you have to clarify. It takes 30 minutes by car to reach criminal affairs from the prosecutor's office. The victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time. But that's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. Yes, and the body eventually re-emerged in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Wow, this is one messed up trial. One of my deputies as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today, I will present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Now that's not what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things, even though he doesn't know what's going on himself. And that's supposed to be an admirable trait? Very well, let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness to the stand. For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer? Oh boy. Things are getting wild from the get-go. Will the witness please state his name and occupation? Yes, sir! I am Officer Mike Meekins, sir! My occupation is, that would be murder, sir! So you're telling us you're a professional killer? Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You've got to believe me, sir. Actually, what we'd like to hear from you is, sir, I'm what you would call part of the younger generation, sir. A person whose action adults can't possibly comprehend. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me, sir. Officer Meekins. Yes, sir. Give us your report of the crime. Consider that in order. Yes, sir! As you wish! After all, I am part of a generation that must be told what to do, sir. Can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm. Well... Alrighty then. Although it's not my normal deputy, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life, then I did it! After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. Nothing strange about that. So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you? To undo the others before they do unto you. That's the Meekins family motto, sir. I see. Then you fainted, and a colleague helped you regain consciousness. Yes, sir! He knocked you upside the head, sir. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. What I need here is more info to work with. Well, I got one idea. Let's press him on everything! Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Yes, sir! I am in charge of hiring new recruits, sir! Now, scary thought. Evidence transfer was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed. I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir. The Blue Badger? Yes, sir! The lovely police mascot created by the head detective, sir. I was to ensure it wasn't broken during the transferal process. That was my sole mission for the day, sir. I see. Sounds like a very, important mission. After the awards ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around. Then I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. Oh, so that's why you went to the evidence room. Tell us, what did you see when you got there? In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct? Precisely, sir. I have one right here around my neck. So then, your ID number should be listed in here, right? There it is! I found it! This is the one right here. Could you please read us the number? Yes, sir. It's 4989596. That's my number, sir. I see. Huh? But the number 4989596. It shows it as being used twice. Please explain, witness. It's no real mystery, sir. The first time it was when I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. And the second time is when I went to go and get him after everything settled down. I see. So it was during that second time when? Yes, sir. That was when I spotted the man on the security screen. Okay, cool. That helped out a lot. So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you? It was a knife, sir! A knife! The Goodman pulled a knife on you. What about then? Well, without charging in on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was. You weren't exactly the kind of person someone who would want to run into. That's where I reacted, sir! I swung my arms up like an octopus, struggling to detain him. That's how I got this gash on my hand. If you just had kept your cool and handled it, wouldn't be. I saw the blood tickling down my arm. I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. What exactly do you mean when you say you did it?
I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir. The man let his guard down for an instant, so I snatched his knife from him.
You took his knife?
I spun him around and performed a disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man.
I see.
He must have been desperate. The next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood. And then the next thing I knew,
Yes?
he punched me right in my face, sir!
About what time did you regain conscious?
No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious.
Oh, right. According to the report from the officer that woke up to the witness, it was about 5:30.
Hit me right in the head, too. I woke up crying tears of pain!
That's nice. I mean, it's nice that you recover, that is.
When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir.
Your mission?
Yes, sir! The Blue Badger, sir! Now turn into the entrance before things got out of hand.
Well, you can all rest easy now. I believe you now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the man that's an officer murdered really the victim?
He's got a point.
Yes, Officer Meekins?
With regards to that, sir, take a look at this. It was sent to my cell. Chief Gant delivering it to me just this morning, sir.
The chief delivered it. What is that? A videotape?
Yes, sir. That's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. It contains footage of when the security camera in the evidence room.
Objection!
What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape, and was told to have been mistakenly erased. That's quite a mistake.
I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at.
So communication with the police department is as good as ever. Well then, let's have a look. Show us a video of the murdering the victim.
Oh, please stop using that word murder, sir. It scares me.
A video of a real murder. Just what we are getting ourselves into.
In that.
Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us? What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood?
Sir, that was the pride and joy of the entire criminal affairs department, sir. It's the Blue Badger, sir.
Why am I not surprised that this isn't going smoothly? Yes, well, anyway, the scene seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter someone in the evidence room and some sort of activity did take place. Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that alright with you, Officer Meekins?
Yes, sir! As you wish, sir! His face can't be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker with it required Detective Goodman's fingerprints to do. The locker he opened is an unquestionably Detective Goodman locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it.
What's this about fingerprint? Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to. Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have been Detective Goodman. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. I don't know where this cross-examination would lead, but everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. I want to press him on these. Tell me, were you able to get a good look at him? At the face of the man who attacked you with a knife?
Sir, if you must label people as having seen or not seen the man's face, it would be classified as the latter.
The latter? But you were standing right in front of him, were you not? More to the point, you are the person who fought him, aren't you?
Yes, sir, but I didn't get a clear look at his face, sir. I'm not the kind of guy who looks directly at people when talking with them, you see. You are an idiot!
Yeah, that's a good trait for a police officer.
So, I'm sure it was him. I bet my badge on it!
Well, you can be betting a lot of things. But you don't know that for sure, do you? You never actually saw Detective Goodman's face.
Well, I suppose you might say that. That is, if you must label people as having seen or not seen it.
Since the face can't be identified in the video, you can only verify it.
Why is everyone looking at me? If I had to label your stares as disturbing or...
Meekins!
Yeah.
Having been shown a questionable video at best, we are not in the best of moods. Now please be more certain when you testify.
Yes, sir!
You claim the man who brandished a knife at you was Bruce Goodman. Tell us why you are positive it was him. Okay, that one's fine. Yeah, because in that scene, it was him. But let me press on this to be sure. How do you know that information?
I've heard rumors, sir, from people in the know, sir.
People in the know?
The workers in the department cafeteria, sir. They keep me informed. They also listen to my romantic trouble, sir.
For the record, the open locker did indeed belong to Detective Goodman. I verified this information through a more reliable source. So the victim opened the locker with his own fingerprints. However, the most important detail is not shown in this video. The man's face.
Sir! If I may say something, sir!
Please do. After all, you're the one being examined.
I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock. And it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir! My unsettled state can testify enough to this, sir!
Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie. That is, unless the defense can find a problem with it.
That's right, let's check the court record again.
I think there is a problem, because we actually don't get to see, like, an actual issue on this tape. There's one thing in particular that seems rather strange. Strange? This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not be Detective Goodman. What? The video contains such a contradiction? Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? I propose you have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video.
You want me to point it out?
Very well, proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of.
I have to point out a problem in the video. This is the first time I've ever had to do that. You could do it, Mr. Wright. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video. How did this guy ever become a police officer?
Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where is the contradiction that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman? one in question that was asked was... maybe Wright... Okay, yeah, let me play a little more of it. Rewind just a little bit more. Because the cloth from there wasn't there from before. Ah! Right there! Right there! The light! Alright. Because the light was on! So that means that the locker had already been open at the time. I kind of overlooked that at first, but here we go.
Take that!
Yes! The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. Officer Meekins. Sir, do you mean me, sir? As I understand it, the locker apparatus works like this. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint. If the print matches the registered data, the light turns on and the lock is released.
According to my very limited experience, that is the way I understand it, sir.
If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker, let's rewind to a little earlier.
God, this music's gonna give me such a headache.
Here, notice the light? What's this? It's already lit. Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. Ah! Order! What's the meaning of this? It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime. But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered, and the locker is automatically locked. Oh, I know. It must have been broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this. That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction. Oh well, just goes to show novice should keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation? Me, Your Honor? Yes. Why wasn't the locker locked? Me, Your Honor. Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator? Huh? Oh, maybe something like jammed the electronic system? Something jammed the sensor. Say, something else that seemed out of place in this video. Yeah, I thought so too. There's gotta be another clue somewhere in this footage. Very well. Let's inspect the video once more. The locker wasn't locked. Mr. Wright, please point out the cause for this. Okay. Because I also noticed in the other locker that's to the closest. That! Right there. Target it a bit. Right there.
Take that!
Please watch closely. This is a continuation of the part I showed you earlier. Okay, thank God they shut it up. What's this? Something white fell out of the locker.
But sir, it's been my experience with things that fall out of the doors that are open. I also fall out and roll great distance when I open my door.
We can't be sure that item was in the locker to begin with. What do you mean? The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door? Inserted? The white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor.
Oh, I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of the patrol vehicle, sir. Instead of the door closing, my tie chokes me.
But the object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door. Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents. It would need to be an insulator. Yes, an insulator. But at the crime scene, there just might have been something that fits the description.
But sir, my insulator. You don't mean...
Finally got this figured out. Very well. Will the defense please present the relevant evidence? What was this insulator that was stuck in the locker door?
That's easy.
It was the rubber glove.
Take that! Take that!
I found this near the locker. A thin rubber glove. But we can't be sure that was in the evidence's victim's locker. It has a tag that says SL9 incident. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker. But that isn't the case. That his lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is this not so, Officer Meekins?
Sir! It would appear so, sir!
Order! So we're led to believe then that the victim whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman? Do not be misled, Your Honor. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? The defense has merely demonstrated the possibility and nothing more. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this.
What?
Officer Meekins, please testify about this.
Sir, me, sir? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir. Is this a joke?
Very well, begin your testimony.
For the love of Officer Meekins and a mama drinking soup. Fine, let's hear what he has to say again. There's one other thing that proves him the man with Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use an ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used this card.
An ID card record. Let's see. I had the ID card record right here, Your Honor. But who's all those sevens? The ID he used at 514 is that of the victim. Just before the crime. Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transfer. Why was there so few people using this room? This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Special? cases. Extremely violent cases involving police staff.
Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end.
Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference. There were only a few cases up for transferal there, and most were cleaned up by noon. Right, I see. Now, let us move on to the cross-examination. So, unlike your earlier testimony, you believe this to be a rock solid, do you?
Yes, sir! Solid as stone, sir! If my hands weren't wrapped in bandages, I'd even give the V for victory sign, sir!
Did he just use his right hand for that? Let's hear him out. The witness can't afford to make any more mistakes.
Turn to the evidence room.
Okay. Is that card hanging here from your neck one of these ID cards?
Yes, sir! The card right next to my cuff, sir! I keep it here so I won't ever forget it.
What if someone were to steal it from you, keeping it out of the open like that?
Maybe I shouldn't wear it around my neck. Remember when I said 2 out of the 3 times my tie gets stuck in my car door handle when I get out? Well, the remaining time was my ID card gets stuck. Instead of the door closing, my ID card chokes me. Maybe we should just leave this one alone.
At any rate, each police officer has only one ID card. Both the police department and the prosecutor's office can attest to this. Please proceed with your testimony.
The time of the card the detective had used this card.
Wait a minute. I want to check something real quick. Because something about this doesn't make sense.
Spider report.
Wait a minute. Something about that testimony doesn't look right. Because I remember picking this up from back at the criminal affairs office. The day was, of course, on that very day to be submitted to the chief. But why would he not have that there? Wait a minute. He couldn't have. I'm gonna try this. Objection!
Objection!
Yes! Wait one moment, Officer Meekins.
I'm not good at waiting, sir!
I had the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. That makes sense. When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I'm in the other crime scene. At the prosecutor's parking lot. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card. A lost item report? It's only half completed. But it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess. You believe this something to be his ID card, right? I can't say for sure, but there is a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card.
Was snatched.
Order! So now, what does this all mean? It can only mean one thing. It doesn't require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card. Order! Does the prosecution have a response? I have only one thing to say to the defense.
Here we go.
Bravo, Mr. Wright.
Bravo?
Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes. What's he up to? That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in the video is a fake, then the murder of the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. Right. That is... Well, I guess that's right. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago, you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. This isn't good. Well. It seems you finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove. Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth. The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in the video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime. So the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot, at the prosecutor's office. The murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness. Observe the moment the defendant had used a murder weapon. Ah! I knew that testimony wasn't way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning. The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered? And where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman. Just so, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, you have to do something or else Alana... What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this mess? We gotta raise an objection. Because this has to be a link to it. Objection! One moment, Your Honor. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. However, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. The blood-stained hand. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demand further examination into the truth of the matter. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor? If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared? I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Mr. Wright, do you mean... Your Honor, the defense would like to request a specific witness. Oh? Whom do you have in mind? Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activity that took place in the evidence room. The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply. Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testified, what is his or her name? I would like to make this quite clear. We need to talk to Jake Marshall. Officer Jake Marshall. Why him? Can't let him know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say. The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. You shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness stand during this time? We will, Your Honor. Court is in recess. There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright? Huh? What do you mean? You called for Jake Marshall. It seems that you figured everything out. I haven't figured anything out. Lana, you're the one who knows everything. Emma, you always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you. I don't recall ever asking for his protection. How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me?
Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later.
Oh, Detective Gumshoe, what is it?
You got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run all around while on duty. And to top it all off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals.
Sorry, Detective.
You better be, pal. Hey! I didn't see you there, Miss Sky!
That's okay. So, have you brought what I asked?
Oh! Oh! You mean this, right?
My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request.
My name? Never in a million years would I thought that it was you who asked me. Could I borrow you to bring me the SL9 incident files?
I need them by noon.
Talk about crazy.
The SL9 incident? But Lana, that's... I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them.
Can't believe you. The chief prosecutor were a witness in that case.
This guy, as was a witness?
Okay, this changes things! Take it from me, you don't want anything to do with serial murders. Oh, what? Now that I have brought you stuff, you're just gonna ignore me?
Emma, but why? Why is your name in here?
What? My name's in there? I don't know. Unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana, the SL9 incident. Is that...
That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings.
The Joe Dark... No, Lana! That's over with! No!
Emma, wait!
She ran away.
You know what? I just remembered I got to be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here.
Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence. Knowing you just might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. Let's take a good look at this file.
Great! How the heck am I supposed to get through all this matter if I can't even get through... Alright. You know what? We're making this into a two-parter. Because now this changes anything. So, we're going to end things off for right now. Next time, we head for the ladder trial. And see for what we can find from out there, alright? See you guys then. Come on!